Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to be continuing my K-pop company era and imaging what a Dreamcatcher debut in the style of LOONA would look like. This debut will include 7 solos and 2 subunits. One with 3 members and the other with 4. I am going to be changing some things though. The subunits will be debuting with 2-song single albums, since Dreamcatcher's actual debut was a single album, and I'm trying to have this make sense with their real career. Also, I won't be doing repackages for subunits. I honestly just didn't feel that they needed them for the storyline. Now, before we begin with each album, I'm going to explain how the lore will work. Basically, after the failure of NMIXX, each girl was transported to a different period in time so that she could live a better life there. Throughout the solos and units, the members will come together and find their way to the mansion from Fly High. Once they're all there, they will debut with Chase Me. Now that that's explained, let's start with the first debut, set in the 1920s. So, for JEON, I went for the 1920s, and I chose 2 songs by IU. You may be thinking, how the fuck is she gonna hit those IU notes? However, if you saw her and JEON covering Fine by Taeyeon, you'd know she can scream her way through the note, which should be more than enough for these songs. The reason I went for the 1920s is because I think she would really suit a jazz song. She has a higher voice like IU, and has that similar characteristic of being kind of weird and campy with the delivery. I don't know what it's actually called, but basically she can get in her Soyeon bag when the time calls for it. Now, for the explanation of the lore. Well, both songs would get a music video, however, I imagine modern times having a more silly and fun music video that isn't really important to the story. The Red Shoes, however, has JEON as a jazz singer in 1923, and while she's performing she feels that this isn't really what she wants to be doing. It feels like every day for her is the same old, same old. After a few performance and choreography scenes, she's contemplating in her dressing room, and right before the final chorus, she decides to quit, and leaves her job. As the final chorus plays, she walks out of the theater she used to perform in, feeling relieved and free. As the song ends, she realizes she has nothing to go back to anymore. However, just then, a flyer flies and gets stuck under her shoe. She picks it up, and it has a distinctly 1980s look. It tells her to go where dreams and reality meet. She looks confused, but takes the flyer with her as she walks off screen. As you probably guessed, next stop, the 80s. And the next girl to join Dreamcatcher will be JEON. For JEON, A Bit Tipsy was an obvious choice. Yoo-ha's voice actually kind of reminds me of JEON's in a way, and this kind of song with a feeling of missing someone would suit her voice really well. As for Snapshot, it's actually kind of a blend with jazzy-feeling verses, with a synth-based chorus. A perfect blend between the styles of JEON's and JEON's debut. I'd imagine all the singing parts would be them together, and they'd just take turns doing the campy cunty speaking parts. As for the A Bit Tipsy music video, we are being cunty legends by being 3 or 4 years ahead of the retro trend. The music video would feel very 80s, like those cities from those city pop music videos, and 90s style anime. JEON is playing games competitively in an arcade, and manages to snatch the victory, and she's very happy and accepts the medal. However, it becomes clear she's doing this just to impress someone, and it isn't what she really wants to do. Noticing a pattern already? She goes up to them, but they only seem mildly impressed, leaving her disappointed. As the chorus starts, everyone else leaves the arcade, leaving her there, crying. Throughout the second verse and chorus, she tries to develop other hobbies to gain the interest of the person she loves, but it doesn't seem to be working. During the bridge, she is crying alone in her room, and as the final chorus starts, she rips up photos of the person she's been chasing all this time, refusing to keep vying for the attention of someone who isn't valuing her. As the outro plays, she runs out into the street, but stops. The camera turns to be behind JEON, and we see JEON looking back at her, smiling. As the song ends, JEON reaches her hand out to JEON, who takes it, and they both walk off screen into the night. As for Snapshot, it'd probably have a fun video of black and white Gayeon and Yuyeon in some sort of puppet theater, being campy and such. Next up is the 1970s, for GU's debut.
Tell me, babe, baby, you know I love it, right, yeah.
GU's debut definitely needed to be upbeat. She simply fits it so well. Now, I'm not sure how Baby Hyolyn correlates to the 70s, but it really fit the vibe I was going for, so to make up for it the music video would be very 70s. Perhaps there could even be a few pop culture moments referenced throughout the video. Anyways, in terms of the storyline, this video shows GU yet again vying for the attention of someone who doesn't notice her. This time, rather than picking up hobbies, she's trying to dress herself to impress them. This would happen across various 70s themed sets like a carnival, the beach, maybe even a record store, so on and so forth. Gayeon would carry the rap verse in the song, and her and Yuyeon would also be featured in the music video throughout, watching GU from around corners. During the bridge, GU would run towards the person she loves in yet another one of her outfits she chose to impress them, not because she actually likes it or feels comfortable in it. However, just as she's about to approach them to start a conversation, someone else wearing the same outfit runs up to them, and they kiss and such. As the final chorus starts, GU runs off from them, and when the song ends, she sits down in an alleyway and starts crying. A shadow appears over her, and she looks up to see Gayeon and Yuyeon. She wipes her tears, and stands up to join them. The three of them then run out of the alley, and off-screen. For GU and Yuyeon's duet, I could see the music video simply being the three of them running around the set from the Bay music video at night. Yuyeon would sing the second verse of the song, and the ad-libs at the end. Now that we have our first three members, it's time for the first unit. GYJ. I called the first subunit GYJ after the names of the members in it. Gayeon, Yuyeon, and GU. Their title track, Girls, is obviously very horror-themed, cause you know, it's Dreamcatcher. In the music video, the three members would be making their way to the mansion from Fly High, as various traps throughout the forest being to hurt them. There could be bear traps, or even vines that could grab someone and hold them down. Basically, the music video would show them struggling to get towards what they truly want, which was the overarching theme of their debut. As the song ends, they finally reach their destination, and enter the gates as the video ends. Now, it's time for the next solo. We're headed to the 1960s, for Xiyeon's solo debut. I really love Xiyeon's softer voice, so I decided to emphasize that with the songs I chose for her solo. For her title track, Heartburn, I imagine her being forced into the societal expectation of being a housewife that was very prominent in the 60s. The video would show her being miserable as she cleans, cooks, etc. All of this while her partner is rude to her, and even throws things like papers or garbage at her. In the bridge, she would throw her cleaning supplies as her partner, who has done the same the entire music video, and rush out of their house. She'd then start running into the night, and come across a poster advertising an audition for a K-pop company looking for a new soloist. Xiyeon looks at the poster, confused, and decides to take it with her. As for her B-side, you may know that VV from LOONA had a solo B-side that featured Jin Sol, a member who had not been revealed yet. I would also want that for Dreamcatcher, and decided to feature Dami on the rap verse of Sorry by ITZY. The music video would probably be Xiyeon playing piano, and perhaps Dami could come and rap into a mic during her part of the song, and then disappear again. I'd also want it to feel very 60s inspired. Now, it's time to head all the way to 2016 for the fifth member of Dreamcatcher, Soo-ah. For Swaya's solo, I decided to go with 2016, as I feel at this point, people would want to see the project experiment with more modern sounds, and I can't think of a better way to do that also fits within the lore than having Swaya's year be 2016. 1 year before Dreamcatcher's debut. In the TALE music video, it's a year since NMIXX has disbanded, and Sua is now a soloist preparing for her debut. She's doing a sexy concept as a 180 from the forced cuteness of NMIXX, and while everything is going smoothly, it still feels like she's missing something. She still feels unsatisfied with the concept she's been given, and isn't sure what it is she truly wants. As the song progresses, JEON walks into the company building, and as the song ends, she finds her way to the room Sua is practicing in by following the music. She opens the door, and they meet face to face. JEON reaches out her hand to Sua, who is nervous at first, but decides to grab her hand, and they leave the practice room, disappearing off screen. In something new, Sua and JEON go around to different stores, trying out a variety of different clothes, trying to find what style Sua truly wants to follow. They try cute, girl crush, sexy, retro, elegant, but nothing seems to be working. Eventually, they give up, and as the song ends, they sit on the stairs outside of one of the stores. Just then, a flyer passes by them. JEON picks it up, and shows it to Sua. It's an advertisement for a nightclub. The opening date is set to be April 6, 2005. Sua is confused by this, but JEON just smiles, and ushers Sua to follow her as they go off screen. The sixth and penultimate member to debut solo would be Dami, with her solo being set in the 2000s. For Dami, I wasn't sure what to give her as a solo. She doesn't really sing, and she barely raps, so I was left confused. Then I remembered Deep by Hyo. It's literally perfect. It does get a little much for her range during the bridge, but JEON is featured to cover the bridge, and it also acts as a kind of full circle moment due to Dami's feature on Sorry from JEON's solo album. The music video would be almost entirely partying and choreography scenes, but some story as well obviously. Dami parties every night and has a really fun time, but she still feels as if she's missing something. During the bridge, she sees Swaya and JEON at the party she's at, and walks towards them. As the chorus starts, she runs towards them. She reaches out to them, and grabs both their hands, and then they run out of the party as the song ends, and yet again, off-screen. For Loop, I'd imagine Dami, JEON, and Swaya doing the song's choreography, but once the song ends, the lights on the set they're dancing on begin to flicker. When they start flickering back on, a girl appears and starts walking towards the three of them. Once the lights fully turn on, it's Han Dong. She ushers them to follow her, and they run off into the shadows. This of course leads up to the final debut, Han Dong. Her debut will technically be 1980s, as both songs are city pop, which was popular during the 80s, but it won't actually be set in only the 80s. You'll see what I mean when I explain her music video. For the final solo, Han Dong, I really wanted her to do a city pop single album, since I just feel that genre suits her voice so well. These songs are also both fucking amazing. Anyways, for the Soul Lady music video, she'd be dancing, and doing the choreography throughout the sets of every single music video thus far. It'd also show scenes from the original music videos where Han Dong had been the entire time, however, blending in with the rest of the extras. She'd even be the other person who got the attention of GU's lover and bae. She did this so that GU would meet the other members of GYJ. Oh, and all those posters and flyers that members kept finding throughout the music videos? All sent their way by her. All of this would be shown in the Soul Lady music video. This music video basically serves as a way to wrap up their pre-debut storyline, and move on to their debut. For Plastic Candy, a performance music video similar to the real one done by Ha Seul should be fine. It doesn't need to be anything special, since all the lore regarding solos is already understood. Perhaps it could include short flashbacks to moments from other music videos throughout the pre-debut era. Finally, it's time for the second unit, Dream Quarter. We're finally on Dream Quarter, the last part of this pre-debut project. In the Ghost music video, The 4 members are on a train towards the mansion from Fly High, when all of a sudden it stops and the lights cut out. Just before the chorus starts, JEON notices something moving in the train cart behind theirs, and then ghost-like figures storm into their train cart, as they all begin to run off of the train and into the forest. The ghosts continue chasing them, until the very end of the song, where they finally reach the mansion, and head inside the gates, where the ghosts cannot enter. The music video would then end, with all 7 members finding their way to the mansion. For the second track on the album, I Can't Breathe, I'd actually see this being an OT7 song, as a teaser for their upcoming debut. This entire project would take place in 2016, and then, on January 13, 2017, Dreamcatcher would debut. Well, that's all for this video. Thank you for watching, and oh my fucking god, please subscribe. You have no idea how long this took. I started at I think 4 p.m. and I'm now writing this outro at 10:30 p.m. This shit took forever. Well anyways, like and subscribe the video. No really, do it. I said do it.